Good morning, people. Hello and welcome to another vlog episode of the India Darshan travel series. And we have started our journey further down south. So we have left Khajuraho. I've been riding for almost 2 hours now. Left at 8:30 in the morning. I had a good fun conversation with the homestay host there as well in Khajuraho. And yeah, the journey to south now continues. I'm at a gas station, just refueled, gonna rest up for 15-20 minutes and then we'll continue further. And in this journey on the ride to south, we have done nearly 1,000 kilometers already. So really excited. And I am cruising on this highway, which is no longer NH44, but we are going down south. So the plan for the day is to head somewhere close to the southern border of the state of Madhya Pradesh. The state is huge. I don't think we're gonna touch the border anyways, but anywhere along the way before the day ends and when I'm tired, I'll anchor down for the night. Let's see where we reach. So let's get started and let's enjoy the ride. So this is the National Highway 934 that connects Sagar in Madhya Pradesh to Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. And as you can see, I was doing a lot of off-roading. A lot of this highway is still being built. That's why the off-roading, and a lot of dust along the way. So luckily I'm all prepared for all sorts of conditions. But yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty dry spell. And for the most part, the fuel stations are pretty nicely spaced out, so you'll find them. But the eateries, I did see some MP Tourism's highway stops board signs at least, but not the actual buildings. So maybe they are planned once the highway is fully built. But I'm loving the serpentine roads and the ability to lean into corners, because I also changed the tires of Fortuner after I finished the last season. So this has a better grip than the factory fitted tires. Really enjoying it. Just taking a random break in the middle of nowhere because there's literally nothing else along the way. To stretch up a little bit, we have done 1,000 kilometers on this ride to south season of the India Darshan travel series. And up ahead, if I find some decent eatery, I'll probably stop to grab a bite to eat. So that was a really nice lunch break, and it's a pretty spacious hotel. They also are building rooms up top. They have some sort of an event facility. So it's a pretty cool place, and the staff was very friendly. So while the food was being prepared, I started chatting with them, and they were locals. So I asked them what's a nearby decent town where I could anchor down. They mentioned about 120 kilometers from here, which should take about 2.5 hours from now. It's just 1:30 p.m. There's a town by the banks of River Narmada, which could be a good place to anchor down. Typically that town has a lot of events ongoing, but I don't know if this is the time for those. But anyways, living by the bank of Narmada for the night sounds like a good idea. So that's the plan, and I think by that time we would be there by sunset. So if we could find a good spot to catch a sunset, that would be just perfect. And then tomorrow we can continue the ride further down south, maybe towards the border of Madhya Pradesh. It helps to break down the ride like this. So I found myself a nice modest accommodation. This is Barman. It's a small town along the way, so we are back on the National Highway 44. And this is the town that's by the banks of the river. And I almost started getting to the river, but then I realized there would be no hotels there because of how small this is. So came back out a little bit, found a hotel right along the highway. So this is a pretty modest hotel. Got it for a budget-friendly price. There's warm water, it's pretty spacious rooms, but there is no Wi-Fi, so that's the only catch. But anyways, I have to stay here for one night, so I think it's pretty much doable. There's also a nice bathroom. I think this kind of space in a city would cost you a fortune, but because this is a village, you get it as a very steal deal. And this is the view of the outside. Cows, cow dung cakes, typical village setting, lots of farming going on there. And then we go to the riverfront, and then there's also a temple there that's apparently very famous and very beautiful, so we're going to check that out. It's 4:20. I'm going to settle in, ask the reception for water and a bath towel, and then around 4:45 or so we'll be heading to the banks of the river. So that's the hotel, that's the highway, that's pretty close, and I'm actually on the other side, so I was going that way. I came using the underpass to this side to stay here. Now we're gonna go this way back to get to the river banks. So just got to the river banks, and it's pretty lively out here. There's a lot of boats, there's a mini beach kind of arrangement over there. There's a temple on that side, there's a temple here as well. So let's go walk around and explore a little bit, learn more about what's happening out here. This is the river Narmada, by the way. Made it to the edge of the river banks. The temple, there's one over there, and I think the boats from that beach side are more active to go over there. Here is a bit more on the quiet side, but there's a bridge that goes over from there connecting the two sides, so I'll ride over to that side later. For now I'm gonna go up the stairs, do the darshan here, and then go that side to do the darshan over there. That's pretty much the plan, and I think this is all this place has to offer. There's not a whole lot, and the fair that I asked was like a typical fair that happens anywhere in India during the festive seasons. That happens in January, so that's already passed, and that's why you can see there is no crowd, there's nobody around, just a couple of souls, maybe a little bit more people on the beach side over there, but that's about it. So yeah, so far a good decision to stop over here, and this is kind of like a halfway point before we cross state borders, so helps break the ride. Today I've already driven 300 or so kilometers, so it's a perfect resting time. 5 p.m, do the darshan, enjoy the sunset, and rest up for the night. So this was the first temple, Dev, Ram Janki, Panchmukhi Hanuman, Narmada Ji, and Bada Mandir. So a couple of different gods are inside. met the priest and the head priest. They are very kind people. They were inviting me over for the prasad. The meal is ready, but it's just 5 p.m. and I want to go to do the darshan of the other side as well. So did the darshan here, got the prasad, but skip the meal for now. And they said you can come back over if you want to have a meal with us. So I'm basically going to the other side, and the head priest was explaining that this is a 300-year-old very prominent temple. The one on the other side is actually an island temple. So in Madhya Pradesh there is a 3,000 kilometer Narmada River Parikrama. So we are on the banks of Narmada River, so you can do the Parikrama, but in that case you'll end up skipping that temple because it's in the middle of the island, and during the pedestrian Parikrama you can't take alternate modes of transport. So for that you have to take a boat, for example, or you have to take your own vehicle and go to the beach. Like one of the locals gave me a shortcut, so I'll try that. So they were explaining that, and I've learned about this, and he said he has done the Narmada Parikrama twice, and if you take your vehicle it's actually 4,000 kilometers, 1,000 kilometer extra because you have to take the bypass, go all around, but while walking you can stay close to the river and it's a bit of a shortcut. So I think there is a way to do a shorter abridged version of this as well, but if not you have to keep like a budget for 3,000 kilometers, like the energy budget for doing all of that. Anyway, so I'm gonna go down, take Fortuner, head to the other side to the beachfront area next. Other side of the island on a private boat ride. So behind me is the Narmada River, that's the temple, and they are blasting music now. But anyway, so we are on the other side of the shore. So we were initially on that side, now we are here. If you take a boat ride just to come to the temple, it's a 50 rupees return trip. If you do a boat cruise kind of boat tour, it's 100 rupees for the tour. So I just wanted to do the darshan. I have previously done a lot of boat cruising, so not much keen on that. This is a pretty cool island concept. It's a very unique concept that I've never seen before. So that's the main entrance to the Mahadev Temple, kids play area, couple of other temples along the way. Sun is setting over that way, viewpoints, hangout lounges, benches and swings and stuff. So it's like a place where you don't have to rush, and even the boat people, they don't rush you. You can come here, stay as long as you want. There's a number listed out there. They just tell you to call that number when you're done and they'll come and pick you up. It's pretty straightforward that way. So I'm just gonna stay here, enjoy the view of the sunset overlooking the river Narmada, and I'll end this vlog here. I'll see you again in another episode where we'll be on the way to a bigger town. This is more like a rustic village kind of setting. There's barely anything here in terms of sightseeing or even good dining place options as well. So I'm gonna end this vlog here. See you again in another episode. This is the Rustic Wanderer signing off.